cleared PMP exam with all above target. Now that's a fascinating journey. And the reason to learn from Pradip and all the people who cleared PMP is to know how you did it. What were the ways you have done it and how we can do it. So Pradip, first of all, congratulations from the side and Pradeep, can you share us how you did it?
Thanks, Amir. Thanks for your wishes, and thanks for inviting me also to share my learnings, my journey with the group, with all the aspirants that that want to attain this certification. I think it's one of the most sought after great certifications that people aspire for to get, and people work hard to get this. And I think it's a great achievement. I have been seeing your videos, the journey videos of other people who have attained this certification. I've seen journeys for other people also from other trainers, and the one common thing that I have seen is people have that feeling of a great achievement when they attain this certification. So I think it's a great feeling that you are a PMI certified PMP professional. And I think it's a great feeling, Amir. To be very frank, I didn't sleep morning. My exam was from 1 to I think it was till 5. So post 5, I was not able to sleep, and when I saw that note which says congratulations, you are a PMP, and you have attained those credentials. After that, I was not able to sleep. Two reasons. One, because of the two coffees that I had in my break, and black coffee, and I think the feeling, the adrenaline, I would say, which would which ran through my veins, and because of that, I was not able to sleep. So, Amir, coming back to your question of, you're able to hear me properly? You're able to see me properly? You're kind of breaking up, Amir.
I know internet has certain issue from my side,
Uh,
but your voice is clear. You can continue. I am able to hear you.
Sure, sure. Thanks for confirming. Okay, so the way the way I planned this was a way that you approach a project. You have a planning stage, you have a execution stage, and then you have a control stage maybe, and then you close it with your certification. So I think that's the approach that I took. I spent some good amount of time thinking about if I want to really go for it or not. And then when I started, when I thought, made up my mind that yes, I'll go for it, then that's when the entire planning thing started. So the way the way I did it, and the way I'm going to share this, my journey in this session is going to be mostly pre, and then some time after the exam, like 10 days before the exam, and then what I did on the exam day, maybe a day before what I did on the exam, and then finally after certification what I did.
So
So
that is good. That is a good plan. How all these things I have. Do share, please. Go ahead.
absolutely. So when I was planning for my PMP, when I thought that I'll go for my PMP certification, I created a routine for myself as to I wanted to chalk out how much time per day I want to spend on preparing, and then what are the things, and what day I want to cover what. Obviously, when you create a routine, you are not able to attain it to 100%. There were some deviations here and there, but then I plan to stick to my routine, and then follow that routine. So for example, I started so I calculated my day, and I could think that I could pull out about 3 or maximum 4 hours. Maximum, that was the maximum, 4 hours a day to study, and within that 4 hours also I had some here and there, some distractions that were already there. So within those 4 hours also, or 3 hours that I'm saying, within that 3 hours also, I divided those 3 hours into what I'm going to do. Maybe uh, maybe spend some time on the predictive model, and then spend some time on the agile methodology. So that's how I divided it. And then I started gathering information as to whom I saw one of your videos wherein you said that you should have a mentor. Should have a mentor who is going to guide you through the journey. So for me, my mentor was Devashish Sharma. So I think he connected me to you, and he was my first point of contact, when I started my journey. So we spoke a lot. I mean, we used to speak a lot. Once he completed his PMP, that's when I connected with him, and then I got more and more inputs. I used to speak to him almost on a daily basis, and then we used to speak for hours, wherein I used to have my questions. I asked, what is your approach? What are the videos that you saw? And then his guidance was very important, Amir. So he shared his journey, what how he connected with you, how he took inputs and guidance from you. He shared some of the videos that that were available in YouTube, some of the trainers' videos that were available on YouTube. And then he also guided as to how you should go ahead with your studies. So one when you take that 35 PDUs training, that 2 days training to earn that 35 PDUs, one training is that. Secondly, the training that you do yourself, at home, sitting at home, which is you can compare it that to a on-job training. So that's what created the difference. I think the training created the base. The 35 videos training created the base. The OJT actually created your guidance, and I think Ashish the sorry Devashish Sharma's guidance, that created the OJT phase of my planning. And that's when when I gathered all the information, all training videos, and then I started studying. So as planned, there were obviously some deviations. In some days I could not study because of work pressure, because of some family issues, because of my kid disturbing me, she not going to sleep, and then so
That
so
is a normal thing, especially working from home. That is a normal thing. Like the kids are disturbing. If I now I'm muting my mic again and again. If I unmute myself, my kid is like my daughter is actually saying "Baba, Baba." So that's a normal thing.
right. And then working out my studying time, as to I wanted to figure out what time I can study. The only time that I found in my calendar to study was late night, 12:30 a.m. till about 4:30 a.m., or 4, maybe, depending on how your day has gone by. So that was the only time which I got for myself to study. So from there,
So how many hours? So how many hours we have?
it was 3.5 hours, Amir, not more than that. Not
Okay,
more than
okay,
that. Because anyways, you have to do a 10 hours job. 10 hours job, plus if your kid is studying online, you have to dedicate time to that also. And then out of your daily course and everything, your sleep time, you will not have more than 2 or 3 hours for a working professional to take out to study.
okay, okay,
So that's what I could figure out, that 3.5 hours is the maximum that I could get for my studies. And on the weekend, maybe, yeah, weekend I could extend to about 6 hours, not more than that also. So that was my planning phase, gathering what to study, when to study, and how to study.
okay, okay,
So when to study, I found out myself. How to study was obviously you and Devashish. and then when to study, and what to study, that I gathered from all of you guys.
Okay. So now when you started, yeah, please go ahead.
No, no, you heard, Amir. Yeah, you had a
So
question.
if no, if I put it in this way, from so far from your journey, like be having a mentor is like one of the most important thing. It does not matter you have a whoever is your mentor, like having someone to guide you actually decrease your time, actually helps you to get to the way in a better and most possible way. Let me share something with you. I have 4 to 5 coaches and mentors of different way. Like I have a coach of an overall coach, then I have a coach for communication skill, someone for like for different phases of life. So you agree on that having a mentor and coach is most important thing, right?
Absolutely, Arvind. Yeah, sorry, Amir. Absolutely, you should have a mentor, because the primary job or the role of the mentor is to show you the road where you have to walk.
Okay.
The walking has to be done by you, obviously, but then the mentor will show you where to walk, when to walk, how to walk.
So all these things I totally agree. When to walk, where to walk, how to walk is basically you can say the job of a mentor. Okay, please go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. So, okay, so that was like 2.5 months of my prep time, and just to let you know, Amir, during my prep time, I did not take any mock test. I'm not sure if I did that correct or not, but
Yeah,
I did.
you feel like PMP with all about target. You can say it with a full confidence that you did it right.
So I didn't take any of the mock exams during that time, Amir. So my mocks started basically 10 days before my exam.
Okay,
10,
okay.
10, 12 days before my exam, because one thing that I could see, and I could resonate your input, that the exam or the mock test may be for a 4 hours,
Mhm.
but the assessment of the mock, when you review those mocks for for inputs or for guidance as to what you have done wrong, what you have done correct, I think that takes a lot of time, and you should dedicate time to that. I mean, not only the wrong questions that you have got, but also the correct questions that you have got. And I completely resonate your thought, wherein you say that you should dedicate more time on reviewing your mocks, rather than obviously you will spend 4 hours on completing the mocks, but then you should dedicate more time in reviewing the mocks, because that will show you where you are lacking, one, where you need to concentrate more. It will help you do a RCA and then a POA, I would say.
Okay, okay, okay.
If you remember, I had sent you a WhatsApp chat saying that
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
getting in the 50s and 60s, but I'm not sure. When I go back again to the question and then I reread it, I get confused within the options. The first time that I read and the first time answer that I get is the correct one.
so
Then you
what
said that go back and review your answers, and you will find you can find your RCA and your POA. I think that worked very well, wherein I could push my scores from a 50s to 60s to a 70s. And I'll be frank, Amir, I never got. I think in one assessment I got in the 80s, but remaining I got in the 70s only.
okay, okay, okay. I
In fact, in the
understand.
75 plus category, 74 to 78, 79, that category. I touched 80s only once.
You touched 80 only once. No, that is very rare. Okay, go ahead, please. And then
So yeah, so there, I took again, your inputs, Devashish inputs of whose assessments to take. So I took Andrew Ramdal, I took PMP with Ray, and I think there were two more that I took.
okay,
So so those assessments, I think prepared me for the final assessment. So that's I think the approach that I took, starting your mocks from 12 days or 13 days prior to your exam worked for me, because that was the time where I could do very specific studying, not the entire book reading, going through the entire book again, but very specific where you are lacking. So the
Okay.
assessments, gave a breakdown of the areas where you are lacking, and I studied those very rigorously. One thing, Amir, that so just to give you a background, which I forgot, in the beginning. I started this journey in 2019. Okay, 2019, somewhere in October, November, end of year. So I took the training during that time, and then again, due to work pressures, I could not go ahead and study and then give the exam. So so although I had read the PMBOK, I went through PMBOK 6, not the PMBOK 7. So PMBOK 6, I had gone through PMBOK 6 again when I started studying, 2-3 months back. I think it was March mid somewhere. So when I started studying, I studied the PMBOK guide again. That was the only book that I studied. I didn't go anywhere else. For my practice assessments, during my study period of that 2.5 months, I attempted the questions from Rita.
Okay.
So
Rita.
studied PMBOK, attempted questions from Rita during my study period, and then 10 to 12 days prior to the exam, I did all the mocks. So
Okay.
mocks from Andrew Ramdale, PMP with Ray,
But you
Tritium
didn't do,
Roy.
but you didn't do prepcast, right?
I didn't do prepcast. No, no. I was afraid.
No, that's
Frankly speaking, Amir, I was afraid that
why you were
if I don't do good in prepcast, then maybe that will decrease my confidence.
okay. Okay.
Because,
So
because yeah,
so let's
go
talk,
ahead.
let's talk about your exam. So how was your exam basically?
Okay, so exam, Amir, it was 70%, 70-75% agile and hybrid.
Agile and hybrid. And how are the basically questions structured? What would the project manager do next? You are moving from this to this. Questions are structured in this way. Okay.
A
So
lot of
which
questions were that you are managing a hybrid project and this has happened. So they will give you a situation, and then they will have questions like, what do you do next, what do you do first, what do you do to resolve the issue.
okay. Okay. So which areas were more targeted? Stakeholder communication resource. And what else?
It was all, I think it was stakeholders, and it was resources. It was resources.
Okay, stakeholder and resources. Okay, what about risk and other areas?
So again, Amir, these were, so you cannot categorize a question basis risk or basis a communication or basis a resource. The questions are practically coming wherein you will find. I mean, it would say, what would you do next? And all the three options would fall in a category that they will come first. If an issue has happened, then it will say, you want to update the issue log, you want to communicate to the stakeholders, you want to update the risk register, what do you want to do?
Okay,
So you have to read those questions very carefully to to figure out the difference between, is it a potential issue or the issue has already happened.
okay, okay. And then,
And then I think there were a couple of match, drag and drops. I think there was one question from MBT.
okay, okay. So MBT is
Uh,
coming. How about compliance?
Compliance, I think there were a couple of questions. I mean, yes, there were a couple of questions. I was coming to
Because
that also.
new updated material of PMI ATP material I am talking about, they have put a lot of compliance questions. They have put a lot of compliance. So that's why I'm asking. Okay, what about risk as per se?
There were some questions on risk also, Amir. But then I want to draw your attention onto something new that I have been seeing and I have not seen in the mock exams. That is the virtual environment questions.
Okay.
Virtual
Now
environment.
it's coming, like it has been coming virtual environment question for last 3 months, because the since the lockdown, I would say in 2021, I think I missed it in some of the journeys in resource. The most of the questions are coming because of virtual environment, because actually we are working majority in the virtual environment. Some of the
Correct.
companies are opening. So even you are in India, and India is one of the leading country in the world. Most of the time you are working in a virtual environment, right?
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely.
the PMP question is exactly oriented into the what is happening currently into the industry, right?
Absolutely. Maybe what I'm trying to say is the difference between the mock and the real exam.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, mock and real exam. Yes, in most of the mocks, like you did Andy Ramdayal and you did Tridip. So
Pretty
in
Roy and
those mocks, you
PMP
don't
train.
have questions. Although Tridip have some questions on virtual. Workday have actually good questions on virtual. So that's a good way. Okay, let's talk about your exam day. So how you manage the tension of the exam, the time management and all those things?
So, Amir, I mean, on the before the day of the exam, I slept a lot. I
Good.
took a good amount of sleep. I stressed myself a day before so that I sleep well. On the day of the exam, also, so my exam was in the morning, early morning, 1 a.m. Because as per my environment and my body adaptation, a late night exam was very good for me. I mean, it was to my advantage, because then by that time the outer environment would have got silenced. The cars honking. My house is right on the main road. So the entire day I have to hear honking. There's a marketplace right behind me, so I have to hear all those shouts and everything. So these are all distractions which I don't want to have my in my exam. Then my kid, obviously, so she's again one of the distraction. So I wanted a time wherein I could sit silently and give my exam. My studies helped me a lot. uh, all my prep exams, the mock exams that I used to give was during, the time when I had scheduled my exam. So I used to start my mock exam during the same time when I had my actual exam. I used to start my exam at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it went up till 5 in the morning.
Okay, okay.
So
Now that
that's how.
I really like the way you plan things, like the way you manage things, and how you moved it, like in all those things. So you have given us such a good content, and you have given us the real value. Like I would say, you initiated very good. You find out what is the best way. You find out mentorism is the best way. So you went with the mentorism, and then you planned your thing very well. So you planned it, and then when you executed the mocks, you look at the way, okay, this is the best time. I don't want any noise. You are monitoring yourself, monitoring and control, and then you closed it in the best possible way. And you got all above target, Pradeep. So Pradeep, you have been watching all the journeys. So I would ask you, my final question. What is the final advice, 1 minute advice for the entire PMP community?
So one advice, Amir, is to get your concepts correct. Stay away from distractions when you study, and and do your hard work. You should know your things. Agile
Yes.
is very important. Agile and hybrid are very important. These two things are actually really very important. So couple of things that I could re look at. One is get your concepts correct. Step by step, what happens after this, after this, after this, after this. You need to have that very clear in your mind.
So
Second, yes.
okay, okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
Second is stay away from distractions. Find a time when you are least distracted to study. uh, one of the major distractions, what is the one of the major distractions? It is this one. It's the cell phone.
I understand, my friend. It
It's a very major distraction.
Yeah, you mentioned it the best possible way, like eliminate distraction and work on those things that are important. That's an excellent way to say, Pradip. Thank you, Pradip, for your time that you gave us and you came to explain all those things. And I have to say, this is one of the best interview I have taken in a long time. You have given us so much stuff, so much advice, and the final and the most important advice: stay away from the distraction, and this becomes the fundamental and the one of the most important distraction. Thank you,
It is
Pradeep.
one of the biggest distractions, Samir, I'll tell you. It is one of the major and the worst distraction that you can have in your life while studying.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you very much. So, guys, you can follow him at uh, LinkedIn, the same name that you can see on the screen, and he just cleared with all above target. And I wish you best of luck for the future endeavors and whatever the reason you did this PMP. And congratulations once again from the entire PMP community. Thank you,
And then,
Pradeep.
Amir, last suggestion: don't forget to celebrate. Don't
Don't
forget to celebrate.
don't
I couldn't celebrate today because I have some personal issues, so I could not celebrate.
You,
But
you are celebrating tomorrow, na? Because we are planning to do it tomorrow. You are celebrating tomorrow, Pradeep. So
absolutely,
thank you, Pradeep. Thank you very much. Namaste.
thanks, Amir. Thank you.